Man, aren't you aware how amazing this planet is? You can actually go a certain route when you're headed to and fro to places on this planet, and depending on the way that you go, you can actually activate or deactivate a certain particular grid that is housed and based in the center of the earth. And this grid is where they got the internet from. This grid is where they got most of your junk, what's called junk technology from. Why is it junk technology? Because this particular technology essentially is not new. These phones and all of this stuff, it's not new. This is based upon the reactivation of a particular grid that's located in the center of the earth. And you are essentially a medium or a channel for this grid. The images that you see in your mind, and the dreams that you have in your mind are projections of this particular grid. I made a lot of money from doing this. But now I want to talk about something that a lot of investors don't like talking about is how I lost money. Because I've been studying things and going and doing certain trips and activating and reactivating certain aspects of the grid. And in that, it entails you going through a scenario where you have to go through trial and error. And in that process of trial and error, you're going to essentially mess up. What am I talking about? You are a character in this particular grid. It's kind of like a video game. But it's real. This is real. No laughing intended. No daydreaming intended. This is serious. And you are a character, essentially, in that particular video game. So depending on the moves that you make will determine how far you along you make it. So what happened is that I discovered a grid and a way to move in and out of a certain particular area, which is kind of like similar to a computer grid, and be able to come back and make profit, make money. But what happened is that at a certain time during this particular movement of going to and fro and continuing to take the same routes to the same place, after a certain amount of counts or a certain amount of times, essentially what happens is that the way is deactivated. The way that you take is deactivated. And you will begin to, instead of adding, you'll begin to subtract if you're not careful. If you continue to take the same way. Like, what are you talking about, Rod? What the hell are you talking about? Remember, I always showed you how I came across water to be able to hit the reset button, essentially, is what I'm doing. And then hitting the reset button, anything as far as liens and loans that's put on you once you cross water is null and void. Did you know that? I don't care what it is. Once you cross that water, it's null and void. But what happens is that if you do this a certain amount of times, now I'm giving you a real example. So if you do this a certain amount of times, though, it becomes a liability. That's a good way of putting it. See, it goes from being an asset. Oh, I'm still recording. Cool. So it goes from being an asset to being a liability. So it's just like the way that you move has been predicted. So now you'll begin to subtract if certain work isn't done to be able to update the project and the program that you started. So basically what I had to do is that I found out in me crossing water after a certain amount of times, you begin to subtract. If you don't enter into the particular haven that I'm speaking of, or into the particular vortex a certain way, if you don't come in the right way, you won't make a profit. You won't be a prophet. Why do you think they was called prophets? Because when they did things and helped people, they made money too as well. Now you're like, but they were prophets with an F. You know, not like prophet like in, or like prophets with an F. Like, I'm sorry, prophets with a PH. Excuse me. They spell it with a PH, not prophet with an F. Talking about money. What are you talking about? These are the same word. P and a H is just a sound of F. Another way of pronouncing it. These are two different words that mean the same thing on a certain level. You say prophet as far as a person. And you talk about profit as far as a thing. When you talk about profit as a person, you're speaking of a person that does what I'm telling you, that makes a profit with their self. And essentially, what I had to do, I lost 500 trips, sick behind this. And I had to come up with a way, and that's what I did today to be able to update the system so that I wouldn't lose 500 trips, which still is costing me a lot of money. But I found out this is why the annuity dropped on me, because of the fact that the way that I was moving in and out of this grid began to, instead of saving money when I was crossing, if I'd have crossed 2 more times, I would have started to lose money. So the annuity dropped, the ones dropped, which was a warning to let me know the next time you cross in there, you have to figure out a blueprint, a plan, because if you don't, you're going to lose 500 trips. 500 of your trips coming back from this portal is going to be closed. You're going to lose money, a lot of money. You got to remember the ones dropped on me. So I'm just letting you guys know, in making money, you're not going to learn any lessons if you don't lose. You never lose money in business. And that's the problem. See, they want you to think that business is gambling, and it's not. Everything in business is an investment. So you're not going to lose money in business. Everything's an investment and a learning tool and an educational tool. So here I am tonight. I had to basically, I'm out of town right now, essentially, as you guys can see. And I had to come up with a way on a shoestring budget to try to fix what's about to turn into a 6-figure problem. Oh, yeah. From moving in and out of these particular dimensions too many times, and now the way has been updated, meaning that the way that I was moving is no longer profitable. So I have to find another way. So you guys wish me luck. I know you may not understand everything I'm talking about, but just wish me luck. And I'll get back with you guys on what's going on. But just know, until I win a certain amount of games, based upon that 1-0 that dropped on me, had a lot of money in a baseball team out in Arizona, and since that 1-0 dropped on me, until I win a certain amount of games, I'm responsible to pay back this error. Because if I don't, it could cause a major computer grid financially. If I just sit on it and don't do anything. So the best wishes to 36 Signs Astrology. I'm saying that to myself and people that are affiliated with this. Hopefully this will get fixed, because this is going to actually future time travel based upon finances and money. It's deep, this program. And if it does get fixed, we could stand to triple what turned out to be $1 million problem could turn into $1 million in profit. You guys stay tuned. I know you don't understand everything. Thank you for watching and all the donations you guys have been helping me with. You see, I'm able to update things. Today we've traded over almost $3,000 in credit and counting. So this is what we do all day, is make and spend credit. Peace.